By now, you all should be familiar with dollar cost average or DCA investing, which is one of the most popular long-term investing method whereby you put in a fixed amount of money at regular intervals so that you can invest regularly, automatically, regardless of its price and market conditions, and that is all without any emotions because it is all automated. In my previous video, I talked about how I executed dollar cost average investing, but that was mostly for CPF investing through my ordinary account funds, so the options were really quite limited. But today, I shall share about how we can do dollar cost investing using cash to invest in exchange traded funds or ETFs, specifically index funds. And for today's video, I use my own money to experiment and test out on 3 online brokerages to see how it works and also show you the process so that you can decide which one works better for you. But before that, if you have any beginner questions on investing that I did not answer in this video, come and join us at our over 9,000 members Telegram group where our community of experts will help guide you on basic investing principles. Join us at Honey Money SG. Let's start off with the regular savings plan or RSP by Webull. RSP is a relatively new feature on Webull that allows you to invest in fractional shares as a recurring investment. Now you can invest in fractional shares of US stocks or ETFs, but the bad thing is that you cannot invest in London Stock Exchange, which means those Ireland domiciled funds or ETFs, you cannot use Webull to invest. And Webull say that you can start from as low as $5 and at 0 commission. And you know, all these things may be marketing gimmicks, so I shall test it out myself. So to set up a recurring investment, I'll go to the Webull icon, select regular savings plan, input RSP symbol, and I chose SPLG, which is one of the lowest cost S&P 500 index ETF. So the minimum investment is 10 Singapore dollars if you credit the funds directly from your bank account, or $5 if you're buying from your current buying power. And for my Webull account, I do have some cash in their money market funds in the SGD, so it means they can help me convert it. And you can select your frequency as well from daily, weekly, bi-weekly or monthly. Now once activated, the order will be filled at the market price, and for my example, it was filled at 10:36 EDT, which was 10:36 PM Singapore time. So my guess is that they are amalgamating the orders together to make it a large order because of the fractional shares. And what happened exactly at 10:36 PM was that Webull had the authorization to direct debit from my bank account 100 Singapore dollars and did an auto currency conversion from Singapore dollars to US dollars at a 0.5% spread. So the converted $73.59 of USD bought 1.42 units of SPLG at $51.95 average price. And for the commission wise, it was really free at $0 because if we look at the pricing table of Webull, for existing customers, there will be no commission charge until the 1st of October 2024. And for new customers, your first 183 days is commission free. I think I kind of like Webull's RSP because it can directly deduct money from your bank account without you having to set up any auto recurring funds transfer. It's just auto debit, and all this can be done within the Webull app itself, so you don't have to do like separate instructions, go into your iBanking and do this stuff. It's really good for beginners to set up the RSP to dollar cost average investing. And if all this does not entice you, Webull does have some welcome offers as a sponsor of today's video. Do you know you can get up to $800 of free shares from Webull this month? And I'm not going to tell you that you need to do some buy trades because no need. Neither am I going to tell you that you need to fund at least $300 in cash because also no need. So what I need to do? Very simple. Just fund any amount, even $1 will do, and you will get 3 free shares. Then hold your deposits, do not withdraw for 30 days, and you'll get another 5 free shares. The free shares are totally random from this list, and it could range from $3 to $100 each. So you see, the maximum reward is $800, but at the very minimum, you can get $24. You see, there's really not much to do. Just open an account with my referral link, put in $1, and after 30 days, see your luck. What shares did you get? So use my referral link down below or scan the QR code right here to get your Webull account today. Next, let's talk about Syfe Trade recurring order, and I've been using Syfe Trade for close to 1.5 years now. In fact, I documented my Syfe Trade journey buying into QQQM, which tracks the Nasdaq 100 index. And it was a relatively good experience because the user interface was really easy to follow, easy for beginners to pick it up. For Syfe Trade, you may either buy Singapore stocks or fractional shares of US stocks or ETFs. But I'll prefer the dollar cost average into US ETFs because they have 2 free trades every month for existing users. And then for new users, your first 3 months means it's unlimited free trades. Then for Singapore stocks wise, it's a minimum $1.98 commission. So I don't prefer that because the costs do add up if you are doing a small size order. Now if you use my referral code HoneyMoney and sign up for Syfe using the referral link, you can get an additional $20 when you make a first deposit of $2,000. So there's some good welcome gifts for new signups of Syfe. But to set up your recurring DCA for Syfe, there is a two-step process, which is funding your Syfe account and setting up the recurring order for Syfe Trade. So to fund your Syfe Trade account, you can go to App Funds, Regular, go to your internet banking and follow the instructions to do automatic bank transfer, depending on which bank platform you are in. Then next, you can set up your recurring trade order by keying in your favorite ticker, which I put in QQQM. Then you can check the recurring order, and depending on what amount and what is the fixed interval you want to set, then they will execute it. Now one more thing is that Syfe will also help you do auto currency conversions. Like if your deposit was funded into Syfe and then they executed the recurring trade order, it will just auto convert at a 0.5% FX spread. So if you compare between Syfe Trade versus Webull, Webull is just one step within the app, but Syfe Trade is 2 steps. Both of these two methods I really like and it's easy to use, but I think that for the most cost efficient method, it has to go to Interactive Brokers or IBKR Recurring order. And I just learned of this method browsing through Reddit Singapore FI. The good thing about Interactive Brokers is that it has a lot more access to global international markets, like not just US markets. It also has access to London Stock Exchange, which means you can buy Ireland domiciled ETFs at fractional shares. And the most popular ETF on Reddit must have been the VWRA Vanguard All World ETF. And you see, I've always wanted to DCA into VWRA ETF using IBKR, but it did not make sense previously because for the FX conversion fees, IBKR do charge $2 of fee per order, and previously there was also no fractional trading enabled for London Stock Exchange stocks or ETFs. But now everything has changed because IBKR can now do everything of that. For the cost wise, I'm using tiered pricing, so it's 35 US cents per order, and you have to add GST for those Interactive Brokers Singapore accounts like mine. So it will add up to 38 US cents after GST. Now the superior thing about IBKR Recurring Trade is that there is no conversion fee to convert from Singapore dollars to US dollars. In fact, I only had Singapore dollars and a few US dollars inside of the account, but they will auto convert for me. And now that I could buy fractional shares of VWRA, I don't have to worry about the rounding. The golden question is, of course, how to set up this recurring trade. So you have to log into your Interactive Brokers platform, select trade, then recurring investments, and create a recurring investments. So you can add the ticker, what stock you want to invest in, the date, the amount, the interval, and the end date if there is any. So I put perpetual or no end date, then save investment. My order was 740 US dollars per month, which converts to 1,000 Singapore dollars. So I'm doing a monthly 1,000 DCA into VWRA. Once you have set up the order, remember you have to fund this account as well because it is not automatic like Webull. To do a recurring deposit, you may head over to transfer funds, make a deposit notification, copy this account data to your bank transfer. And I'm using UOB as my internet banking platform, so you can take the recurring fast deposit for future dated transfers. Make sure you enter the IB account in the comments or the reference section so that they can credit to the right account directly. So if you look at my recent trade, I auto converted from SGD to USD after 11 PM SG time, with a spread of around 0.1%. Then IB executed my order size of $370 to buy VWRA at a market price of $108.77 and add a commission of 38 US cents, which also means it's highly cost efficient because the FX spread of 0.1% is much lower than Syfe Trade or Webull at 0.5%. Of course, that was based on my personal experience, so it may differ for your result, but I am now more decided to move my monthly QQQM DCA from Syfe Trade into IBKR because of the lower FX spread and I could enjoy some cost savings. But the thing is that IB charges commission of 38 cents while Syfe doesn't charge any for the first 2 trades. So I would say in order to calculate the break even, I'll take 38 US cents divided by the spread difference, which is 0.4%, and that will come up to 95 US dollars. So any order size above 95 US dollars, I think it's better to use IB for the recurring trade. But having said all of this, let's compare these 3 platforms again. For Webull, I like it because you can do everything within just one app and is suitable for beginners without having to set up multiple deposit and trade instructions. For Syfe Trade, I really prefer their user interface because it is easy to use, everything looks really clean and minimalistic compared to both Webull and Interactive Brokers. For Interactive Brokers IBKR, I like that it has access to London Stock Exchange and you can do it at a very low cost and very low FX spread. But there is definitely a slight learning curve for you to learn about the basic features of interactive brokers. So for now, I'll consolidate all my cash orders of dollar cost average investing into IB because of the reasons I mentioned above. But if you want to look at what did I invest with my CPF into this dollar cost average investing strategy, then I can refer you to my previous video right here.